What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Mi Pod. So today's random but somewhat relevant question is, how do you guys like to accessorize your vape? Do you like to wrap it in skins? Do you put on special drip tips? Do you have any sort of holsters or bags or maybe even like a necklace for your vape or anything like that? Let me know in the comments box down there below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Personally, I love my acrylic drip tips from Half Moon Mods, from Just the Tip, from Gator Board, from Double Helix Designs. I absolutely love drip tips, and I have a small collection going. So the device we're going to be taking a look at today is called the Mi Pod. This guy right here, this is absolutely tiny little all-in-one pod system from Smoking Vapor, with a big huge shout out going to them for giving this to me at Vape Showcase in Dallas for the purpose of making this video. Really do appreciate it, and I've been enjoying this thing for the past couple of months. So taking a quick look online, this device is available in 8 standard colors, which include the digital series and the metallic series. So the digital ones include a gray, blue, black, and orange, and they all have this sort of funky pattern on there. And the metal versions are silver, black, gold, and rainbow. Now, taking a look on their website, they also have an exclusive version of this device, which include a red, white, and pink digital, as well as a white, gray, and rainbow snakeskin, and the black sand version as well. So you have a ton of different color options for this thing, an easy way to accessorize, and it almost becomes a part of your outfit. You can kind of just match a Mi Pod to anything that you're wearing, which is kind of cool. I like that, and I really like the options that are out there. Also, you can get yourself some spare pods, which are going to run you about $10 for a 2-pack online. Of course, links to everything will be right down there in the description below if you guys want to pick one up for yourself. But let's go ahead and dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got the Mi Pod in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging, and then we'll take a look at what's inside. So first and foremost, your traditional picture of the device with your logo right there. Little spot gloss on the picture, a little embossed in purple on the logo right there, and nice and shiny, as you can see. On the bottom, we have a Smoking Vapor logo. On this side here, Smoking Vapor, smokingvapor.com with the UPC. On the top here, something a little interesting, another Mi Pod logo with a sample of the texture. Now, I'll just bring that in a little bit closer for you guys. That is pretty cool. I like that they put that on there. You can actually feel it, you can touch it, and see how it's going to feel in your hand, which is definitely cool. On this side here, Mi Pod logo, and on the back, your pretty standard information. You guys should be used to this by now. Introduction, what the kit includes, specifications, a couple disclaimers, scratch-off authentication, and a nice big Mi Pod logo at the top there. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside. You get the Mi Pod inner box here with the embossed silver logo again. And then you get this right here on the inside lid. It's a little quote, and it says, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication," quote by Leonardo da Vinci. So that's kind of different. You don't see that every day. A warranty card, pretty standard stuff there. You can fill it out if you want to. You have your user manual, which is booklet style already. Points in my book. You have a lot of embossing on this as well. Even the little arrows in this little breakdown here of the parts are embossed in purple. Then you get all the lights, what they mean, the features, how to use, how to fill, all that good stuff. And another big old Mi Pod logo right there. So a nice little user manual, and it's not fold out, ugly, stupid poster size, which I like. You have the device itself, which you're going to be taking a look at in a second here. Underneath this little tray, you have 2 pods that it comes with. And then you get this little accessories box here, which you get, let's see, you get a lanyard attachment, so you can attach it to a keychain or a lanyard or whatever, which is cool. And a nice little magnetic USB cable, kind of different from the norm. These 2 pieces like kind of latch together. I guess you might be able to use it as like a bracelet or something if you got small wrists, but guess I don't. Anyways, I'll just add that to my collection. Alright guys, let's talk about the specs. First of all, it's an all-in-one plug-and-play design. It has a 2 mil juice capacity, integrated 950 milliamp hour high-drain lithium battery. Voltage output range is 3 to 4.2 volts. Maximum current is 15 amps. It has voltage-based output, draw-activated firing mechanism, 3-color LED USB light battery indication. It takes the Mi Pod refillable replaceable cartridges. Cartridge resistance value is 1 ohm. It has a stealth mode, 10-second cutoff protection, overheat protection, short circuit protection, low voltage protection, low resistance protection, and it charges with a micro USB charging port. All right, so let's take a quick look at this Mi Pod. As you can see right here, we have our micro USB port. That's how you charge it. And just below that, there's a little tiny black button, which is the only button on this device. And that's how you can turn it on and off, and that's how you can turn on and off stealth mode. So 5 clicks to turn it on and off, and click and hold for 5 seconds to engage stealth mode. I'll just do that for you guys real quick. There you go. You can see the little blinking blue light inside there. That means stealth mode is on, and if I puff on it now, it's not going to turn the light on inside the tank. So let's just go ahead and shut stealth mode off. Click and hold another 5 seconds. There we go. You can see right here the little window that goes all the way through, and you can see your juice level in there, which is nice. You can see the little Mi Pod engraving right there on the top. Another nice little touch. And on the back here we have a little slot for your wrist straps or your necklaces or whatever you want to put this thing on if you want to do so, which is cool. I like that. You can also see the little texture here. Very nice, kind of soft feeling, a little bit on the stickery side, just like the regular Mi 1, but hey, it's kind of a nice touch. I like the slightly metallic look. I like the little feel of it, and it just kind of looks cool as well. And you can also get a nice gold chain for it. They gave me this gold chain at Vape Showcase in Dallas, and pretty sure you can get these on their website. If so, I'm going to link them right down there in the description. But yeah, they gave me a sweet little gold chain, which made me feel kind of like a baller. So here is one of the actual Mi Pods themselves. And as you can see down at the bottom here, it's got a little bit of cotton and a coil. You can see the little tank section right there on the side. You can fill it up with this section right here, this little silicone stopper. You just unplug that and stick your needle tip or something really small in there. Unicorn bottles do work, but they're not super great. Needle tip bottles are definitely preferred in this situation. And there are your contacts right on the bottom with your air hole right sitting in the middle. On this side here, we have another small little air hole. I'm not sure if that's secondary or what, but it's kind of an interesting thing there. And that's pretty much it. You can see the holes at the top. It's fairly small, but still enough airflow to be able to direct to lung vape this thing, which is kind of neat. And that's it. That's pretty much all there is to these little Mi Pods. All right, so I think I've covered everything in this little close-up view. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of the video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting off today with the pros, and my first pro is that it's incredibly pocket-friendly. This thing is absolutely tiny. It fits in the palm of your hand, and it fits in your pocket with ease. Great to carry around all day, every day, as just sort of your backup to your full-size device or what have you. If you're just going out and running some errands, you're going to the grocery store, something like that, you can grab this thing and be satisfied with your nicotine fix on the go. So with that, it's incredibly small, lightweight, easy to carry around all day, and just super duper portable. My second pro for this device is the battery life. The battery on this thing lasts a very long time. I get about, on average, 6 to 8 hours of battery life with this one here. I used it from the second they gave it to me at Vape Showcase in Dallas, all through that night with, you know, drinking and friends and vaping my freaking brains out. Yeah, it lasted me all night into the morning, and I think it lasted me about half of the next day. So with that, I mean, on top of the fact that it only takes about 20 minutes to charge, the battery on this thing is pretty massive for how small it is. And for my third pro, this thing has decent juice capacity. It holds 2 mils of e-liquid, and when you compare that to something like a closed pod system, which generally speaking hold between 0.7 and 1.5 mil, this thing just tops it. That's all there is to it. The juice in here lasts a while. I could probably make it a good 6 to 8 hours without refilling it, which is pretty darn impressive, and I've used this thing quite a bit, and I've only had to fill it a couple of times, which for me, that's pretty impressive. And for my fourth and final pro for this device, you can lung hit it. Yeah, this one here, you can absolutely do a direct to lung draw. I've seen a lot of their videos online of people doing tricks and blowing clouds with it, etc., etc. Now, there's no right or wrong way to use this thing, but I found that if you want a mouth to lung hit, then you can just put your thumb right over this little hole on the side here, and then you could just do a standard mouth to lung draw. If you want a direct to lung, then just leave that wide open and just rip away on it. You might have to carb your mouth a little bit just to get that little bit extra airflow going on in there, but with that, you can absolutely direct to lung hit this one, and I would kind of compare the draw to something along the lines of the Sync Pod system. But yeah, this thing, you can absolutely direct to lung it. All right, guys, so moving on to the cons, my first con is that the button on this thing is absolutely tiny. It's really, really small, right down here below the micro USB port. And with that, I might have fat fingers or something, but for me, it's pretty difficult to press. I have to get in there with my fingernail and just kind of click it a couple of times, but I kind of have to make a couple of attempts most of the time when I go to turn this thing off. So I just tend to leave it on. Not that it's really doing any harm by leaving it on, but it does have an on and off feature, so I would kind of like to be able to use that, but with this little button here, it's almost too tricky and too difficult for me, so I just don't even bother with it. My second con for this one is the mouthpiece is a little bit short and it does get a little hot as well. So if you're planning on direct to lunging this thing, then be careful with this one. Make sure you wrap your lips around the mouthpiece instead of pursing your lips over it, because it does get a little bit warm. Now, from what they told me, this was more of an aesthetic choice just to make it look a little bit more sleek and stylish rather than, you know, having the big old drip tip sticking up there. But personally, I really wish they just went with a standard 510 drip tip size or something around that size, because I would have liked to have had a little bit more function over fashion. And for my fourth and final con, the pods on this thing are a little bit inconsistent. Now, I've never gone through an entire pod without it either leaking, spitting juice in my mouth, or giving me random dry hits for no apparent reason, and I just really can't tell why. It's fully saturated with juice. I'm drawing on it like I normally would. It doesn't seem like I'm really trying to pull extra juice into the coil or anything like that, but for some strange reason, I just can't seem to get a single pod to give me no problems at all. So they might have a little bit of tweaking to do with their pods, but otherwise it's a fairly decent vaping experience for not a whole heck of a lot of money. So at the end of the day, is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for review? And I'm going to say yes to this one, mostly for the battery life. Now, when you're comparing this as far as pod price and as far as device price and as far as specs and stuff like that, it's pretty similar to its competition, mainly the Soren Air, Soren Drop, Aspire Breeze, that kind of thing. But when you're talking about the airflow, this thing has a lot more airflow if you want to direct to lung it. And as far as the battery life, this thing absolutely kills it. So if you're comparing this one to a pre-filled cartridge pod system like the Juul, the Fix, or the Bow, those will all have a nice tight airflow, so it's a little bit better for the current smoker looking to quit. Whereas this one here, I would recommend more for the current vapor looking to just have a pod system. So with that, you obviously have a lot more advantages as far as refilling your cartridges up to about 5 times before you have to get a new one, and you get the stellar battery life as well. So you guys have plenty of different options here on the table, but if you guys want to try out a Mi Pod for yourself, I'll leave a link right down there in the description below. So that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave me some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts all about the Mi Pod or anything else you guys want to discuss down there. Also, check out the advocacy and my social media links right down there in the description below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on. Blah, 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 blah.